Today, over 1 billion children in the world live in poverty. At Help Heal Humanity, our goal is to connect children in need with people like you who want to make a difference. Our student sponsorship program helps provide children with the necessities for a healthy and successful start to life. When you sponsor a student, you're not only giving them the gift of education, you're giving them the best chance for a brighter future. 100% of your donation supports the tuition fees, uniforms, textbook, and school supplies needed to thrive in a safe and healthy learning environment. Sponsor a student now and be the catalyst for their brighter future.
Good
morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Much better.
We love technology when it works, and we love technology when it doesn't.
Yeah, and technology just loves me. It just loves me.
Exactly. That's with me. I'm always okay. Who are you, Barbara? Let's talk there. Let's start there.
Well, I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay. Well, I am the B. We are part of the BBs. I'm Barbara Ellison, and I'm a transformational life trainer and founder of Wellness Playroom for the best version of you. And I am just so excited to be here and to have you here listening. Welcome to the Time to Shine Happiness Show with the BBs. So, Barbara Beckley, who are you?
Well, an hour ago, I would have been like, I don't know, but I came back to life. And I'm here. My name is Barbara J. Beckley, and I know who I am now. I am Lights, Camera, Action. And what I mean by that is every day you should be that in your business. And what I mean by that is showing up, being present, people knowing your gifts, people knowing what you do for others. And I help you with that through videos, through being on shows like this. You know, we created the BBs, what's been 3.5 years now.
Yep.
And we're going to be going on 4 years. So that just tells you that we've been showing up. And I was just thinking about the other day, we've been showing up all that time. And that creates consistency. And people look at that and say, wow, you know, those are some trailblazers. So that's what you want to be in your business. You want to be that trailblazer to show up in people's lives. And then from that point, they might become your clients. They might become sponsors. They might become just new friends. So with that, that's what I do in life. But right now, like I said an hour ago, I was like, okay, I know Barbara's always saying technology is our friend, but I had to be really nice, because if you say anything negative about it, it could even go worse than it is. So I was like, I love you. I love you, computer. I love you.
Yes.
Yes. So
Been there, done that. And you just have to which is partly why you'll notice that I have a totally different background.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I have gotten so tired of fighting with virtual backgrounds. I went, so who am I trying? Everybody knows it's a virtual background covering up where you are. And I finally just said, oh, for heaven's sakes, Barbara, this is my room where I am building my international coaching and marketing company.
There you go. I love it.
There you go. And yesterday I was on a call, and one of the gals on the call said, Barb, I love your pink room.
I was about to say the same thing. It's nice, and it matches everything all around you. I mean, it's just
it matches me. So
Yes.
why have I been hiding it? And so that kind of like was this morning as I was thinking about the show and just being excited and coming on, and I thought about it, it's like, okay, Barbara, why have you been? And so like, so now this is it. This is me, and I'm very happy with it. But
Mhm.
then that brought up another thing is like, well, how did I get here? Kind of stuff
Mhm.
of, and it brought to mind some of the previous things that I have done in my life. Like
Mhm.
one of them was that I used to work for a high end national chain of retail stores.
Mhm.
One of my many jobs, as you're coming up in life.
Mhm.
And one time they asked me if I would help open a brand new store at
Mhm.
another location, and it was huge. Sure, because one of my things has always been I am open to opportunities to see where they're going to take me.
Mhm.
Well, we walked into that store and it was a shell
Wow.
of walls and fixtures, shelves,
Well, you had to really.
and semi-filled stuff, semis full of merchandise. Daunting task because we had no idea where anything was. We had to find everything. And it was like, okay, I can handle this.
Yeah.
The next time I did it, I helped open a restaurant. Same thing. We walked in, there was nothing there. Now what? Daunting.
Mm.
You know what? Now what I'm doing is I am doing a totally different thing, but I'm building a coaching business, and
Mhm.
now I am helping. I'm a brand partner for an elite wellness company. Well,
Mhm.
now we are opening up just opened up in Australia. Now we're opening up into Canada. Well, as you know, I'm Canadian.
Mhm.
Daunting task.
Mhm.
But I was thinking about it. All those things that I did in the past
Yeah, prepared you.
me
Mhm.
for what I'm doing now. And so now it's not daunting.
No.
I can do it is fun. I am so enjoying doing, creating, finding the people that I'm connecting with that want to help build a company in another country. It is so fun.
Yes. Wow. See, it's just, it's amazing. I was just going to say real quick, it's amazing how in your lifetime, when you look back of the things or the stepping stones or the blocks that got you to where you're doing what you're doing now, or getting you prepared for things to even get bigger in your life. So, I think of, like you said, looking back at some of the, we all had our different jobs and what we did. And I just look at where I was. Well, I started age of 16, and
Right.
then moving up now in my, late 50s, it's like, wow, I
Right.
really have done some things that
I've done some
I didn't
things.
even realize. That some things, Barbara, you think back like, I really did that.
Right.
I really, was a part of this, like you said, creating magic in an
Yeah.
empty space, being creative, your creativity comes out, it's everything. So, and that always, I always tell people, all those skills, everything that we learn,
Yeah.
those are transferable skills that you can use anywhere.
Right.
That's
Organizational skills.
yeah.
I realize that the organizational skills
Mhm.
and just the teamwork that was involved with setting up this huge retail store.
Yeah, yeah. Because I
Yeah.
know well, because like you said, we had our jobs. So I worked in retail, for a quick moment, but I'm glad I did. First of all, I was doing it because it was a second job. It was right
Right.
after this first job. I get off one job and go straight to the retail job.
Right.
So I did the night shift. So it was like clothes. You know how that works. It's basically your clothes. Your clothes are your closer.
Yeah.
And you have to unpack the merchandise. And if some new display, you got to do that because it's all night stuff. And I remember where they said because they had another one opening and like down the street. And so they sent me and a few other ladies, and it was kind of similar.
You're
But
right.
the thing with us different than with you, which, like I said, I have to give you so much kudos for what you did, is their store was set up the same in every place.
Oh, yeah,
So
no.
we kind of knew, I mean, even though it was an empty shell, we had we knew the whole map out because it had to be the same for every store. So that was much easier than just coming in and saying, okay, you have this. Now what you're gonna have to do.
What are you
So
gonna do?
that's why I give you so much love with that, because I mean at least we had a guide, but you didn't even have that much.
Yeah. Well, we did have we had a map, but we had to find everything for the map.
For the map. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
We had to find everything. It was just, I mean, I have climbed in and out of a lot of semis. Just say it.
We did
But anyways, but you know what? I have to share one fun thing. Just because it's a fun thing. You know what, once in a while I love to just find fun things that people have done that have turned out to be so worthwhile. Anyways, okay. Do you like gingerbread?
Yeah.
Me too. I like gingerbread.
Yeah.
We tend to only eat it at certain times of the year, you know. But anyway, but where did gingerbread come from?
Oh, okay. See, now you're bringing this back. Yay! I'm glad you brought back. I love this when you do that. Where did it come from?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like what country?
Continent.
Continent.
And maybe how long ago?
I'm gonna take a huge leap here. Did it come from Ireland?
Nope. Okay.
Nope.
But you know what? The thing is, though, it originally came from China 2,000 years ago.
Wow.
But it was introduced to Europe in 992. 992. So then, but then in like 1700s, in the 17 and 1800s, it became like that they would give it out as a treat to priests and travelers, those kinds of things. But anyways, but what that brought me to was, guess how big the biggest gingerbread house is?
I don't know. I don't know.
Life size. Jessica's saying life size. Okay. And where is everything bigger in the world in the States? What state is always, you got to go big in
Texas? Well, Jessica said Texas.
Texas. Okay. So 2015 at I'm going to read it. The Transitions Club in Bryan, Texas. They built a gingerbread house that people could walk through. It was 40,000, not quite 40,000 cubic feet. 1,800 pounds of butter was used and 68 pounds of ginger.
Oh, so they really made like a real
gingerbread house.
I'm thinking they just created a house and built it, but they made
a real So anyways,
oh my God.
They charged for people to go through it. And they raised $200,000 for people to go through it in like a short period of time. They dismantled it before Christmas, gave it all out, all the gingerbread out, and they donated the money to St. Joseph's Trauma Center. Wasn't that cool?
See, that was creativity at the second power.
So you can do anything.
Okay. Now maybe I'm getting too deep into this. So tell me if I'm wrong. So they built this gingerbread house. And it was a gingerbread house like you're baking, but right? And then people are walking through it and looking around.
They had it roped off that you couldn't touch it, and would have it had it was sanitized and stuff. People wouldn't be able to do it. But the pictures, but I looked at some pictures, and there people were walking through it. But it was like
well, good.
And they probably had it protected on the inside. And dust, and probably stuff, for the dust.
Well, you see where I was going, bro. I was like,
oh, exactly.
I wouldn't eat that, but good. I'm glad they did.
But I think they probably didn't eat the outsides of it, but they kept some as part that they could eat. But it was an actual,
I can't believe it was an actual gingerbread house, really
actual gingerbread house.
Yes. I mean, think about this, Barbara. How do they even put it? They got to cook it. I mean, I'm just thinking about how do they do that?
The logistics of it. So you know what? Somebody has, and that's where that I think that's what partly triggered my what skills did it have to, but it was a collaboration of home builders, roofing companies, all sorts of people that came together to do this as a fundraiser.
And a baker.
And baking.
Yeah.
Exactly. To be able to put all the pieces together.
Wow, bro. See, you
And
always, I
just the
told you.
coordination of it. Can you imagine?
So Barbara, okay, you got to make sure now every, we do something like this again. Because we used to do that all the time, bring like the things. Yeah, because that's wow.
Okay,
Yeah,
and so Jessica's coming on, and she's asking who has the world's biggest pizza. Oh, I'll have to. Okay, I'll look that up.
What you say? You said now you're curious. See, now we're going to do a lot of things.
And that's one of the things that I work with my clients is when something happens or when you see something that is like, ooh, that either piques your interest or, ooh, maybe I could do that. Yeah. Get curious about how it happened. Get curious about what part you could play in it. Could you be the instigator of it? Could you be the caregiver of it? Could you be whatever? Because we all have skills. And so often people think they don't have skills. And they limit themselves to what they think they can do.
Because they don't try. They don't even try.
That's one of the things that I work with my clients is get curious about either something that happened, especially if it's something negative that happened. Okay, this negative thing happened in your life. Get curious about what happened, what was your part in it, and then, okay, how can I turn it into a gift or an opportunity for something bigger?
Well, that's what it's funny you said that about the opportunity, because last night, every other Monday, I'm with an accountability group. I just joined. I think I told you like last month I joined accountability group. So, and the person that's over it, his name is Christopher. Awesome coach. He's like the no excuse coach. That's what he calls himself.
Yeah.
And he was just saying, he said, you don't look at problems as problems. You look at problems as opportunities.
As opportunities.
He said, so every time you see a problem or something that's going on in your life, look at it as an opportunity for you to do, learn, grow, whatever it is, and flip that. And I love that concept of that, because that makes you just automatically think of that. Because when things happen, like in my job or anywhere, like something goes wrong or whatever,
life happens.
Life happens. I tell people, some people be so involved in what happened and oh my God, and everything. I was like, and I'm standing there saying, okay, now that it happened, can we work this thing out? Can we get it back on track? Can we think of something different? And sometimes people get really, really upset at me because they're like, because they want to stay in that,
stay there.
I don't want to stay there. We don't have that type of time. Life is short. I want something positive here. Let's move it, right? So I'm that person. And they know to bring me in because they know I'm going to be like, okay, I love everybody, but we got to go.
And you can empathize with people. And I am so sorry that happened.
Yeah, I am.
Where do you want to go from here?
Yeah.
And then they can choose. But yesterday I did a little presentation on just this subject of the negatives and the positives. It's the positive intelligence. And the question I raised was, how many of you have had something happen to you years ago, or you did something years ago, and you are still beating yourself up for it? Ooh. Everybody raised their hand.
Yeah.
And you're still beating yourself up for it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the judge that we call it the judge in your head. That's the negative energy. But you know what? When that happens, one of the tips that I gave them is when that happens, you can turn around and say, oh, that's just my nasty judge trying to make me crazy.
Yeah.
And then turn it around and just say, hey, you know what? That's not me anymore. Or that's not whatever it was anymore. I don't do that anymore. Because I am now I'm the new me.
Yeah.
And that is what you can move forward to. and go and move away from and go towards.
Yeah.
So it's just, but it's practice. It takes practice.
It takes
But
practice. Yeah, but before we bring on Queen Jessica, I wanted to say that when you said, just to add to what you said, is I was just talking to a friend of mine yesterday of just something similar to what you're talking about, what's holding you back or what triggers you and everything. So till this day, my mother's been, God rest her soul, she's been gone for 13 years. Mm-hmm. Now, she was Sergeant Beckley in my life. Sergeant Sally Mae Beckley. That's an old name, Sergeant Sally Mae Beckley. And she loved me, but in a different way. She was always on me, which now today I'm thankful for that, because that's where I'm at. That helped me where I'm at now, right? Right. But the thing is, if I'm, anything that I'm doing and I feel like I might have did something that I didn't supposed to do or whatever, I'm like, oh no, Sergeant Beckley. So it just pops. She pops in my head, Barbara. She's not even here, and she's here in my head. Exactly. Sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes that's a not so good thing. And I had to ask myself the question: am I like, what was that thing that people get PTS or whatever? PTSD. Yeah, I said I think I have PTSD on my mother.
I truly believe that we all suffer with a little bit because of our upbringing, because we are programmed from the time we're kids.
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
programmed from the time we're kids.
Yeah. I mean,
and with you, it wasn't until I was 61 that I realized that I had spent 61 years living by somebody else's mindset.
There you go, Barbara. And I was like, wow, all this time. Years. Yeah. Because I had to ask myself, and I said, why am I getting up? Because I didn't wash a dish. I left a dish in the sink, right? And then I know if my mother was here, she'd be like, get that dish. So I said, I got to put the dish. And I was looking around like, okay, she's not even here. What am I doing?
Exactly. And that's exactly what happens to people. That's why it takes practice. But now one of the things, my thing is to just make people aware of it, that you can talk back to that voice.
Yes.
Shut up. if it's really shut up. I am not going to listen to you. Or you can say, or you can make a joke of it. Oh, that's it. Because I call her Jezebel. My voice in my head is Jezebel. I've named her.
You got a name.
Oh, Jezebel, you're just trying to make me crazy. And so lots of times I put on Carol's Texas accent. Oh, Jezebel, you're just trying to make me crazy. Or Southern something, or whatever that accent is. It's my Jezebel accent.
That's right. It becomes funny. I like that. You gave it a name. You gave it a voice.
Name and a voice.
Hey, they're a voice in our head. We might as well, right?
Right. It's part of you. And you've had it since before from the moment you were conceived.
Yeah.
But it's been programmed since you were a kid.
Yes. And like you said, Barbara, once you identify that and stuff like that, then you know how to work it out. So yeah.
And then you can work it out.
Yeah.
If you brought up with always being told that you're stupid or that you're worthless, all that kind of stuff, that's what you believe. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, if you were brought up that, oh, gee, everything is great. Well, you believe that. But in that, it doesn't matter whether it was the negative or the positive. Your inner voice is hearing what it hears.
Yes.
Not what's being said to you sometimes.
Yeah.
It's how you interpret. It's not that you don't believe it. It's how you interpret what's being said to you.
Yes. So I'm glad that, So everybody just shut down that voice. It's like,
shut that. Be aware of it and then just talk back to it.
Like, no.
Nope, not to listen to you.
Mm-hmm. So with that, we're going to bring on Queen Jessica and after our sponsor, and we'll be right back.
I don't know this song.
My body becomes like a cement. Oh my God.
That was the better one. The song
Okay. Oh my God. It's like magic. Literally like magic.
Jessica, how are you doing?
I'm good. Where'd the other Barbara go?
She is good. She's doing the back of the house. She had another conflict that she had to do. So, but she knows you and I know each other. I said we'll have plenty to talk about.
That is so true. I was listening about your gingerbread house story, and I think my derriere grew a few sizes just hearing the amounts of butter that went in there. So the pizza there's a YouTube star called Eric, and he made in Guinness Book of World Records a 14,000 square foot pizza pie, 13,000 pounds of dough, almost 5,000 pounds of pizza sauce, 8,000 pounds of cheese, and 630,000 pieces of pepperoni.
Wow.
630,000 pieces of pepperoni. That's a lot of pepperoni.
That's a lot of pepperoni. The thing is, and just on that subject, I wonder why do people do that? Why do people do that? Why do people do anything?
The right competition.
So how are you doing this, Jessica? It is so good to see you. Jessica, I gotta tell you, Jessica and I have been friends for many years. We first met. Where did we first meet? In Steve Erickson.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that. It's our
Steve Erickson's group. And one day it was like, I need, like sometimes you just get to the point where you need help. And I needed help with my social media stuff. And well, guess what? Jessica does. And so it has been just a blessing to have her in my life and help, and her team helps me with all of my social media stuff. Anyway, but Jessica, that's not all you do. So tell us about you.
No, actually, it was interesting. It's not how it started out. So I'm going to give you,
as Barb always says, just tell us the backstory.
I'm going to turn back the time and travel in a time machine. And years ago when I was much younger than this, I started in sales and radio advertising. And so then I worked for lots of different firms throughout the country, managed a large sales team, worked with Fortune 100, did a lot of government sales, for about 25 years now, or more, we won't say, have been speaking nationally, keynoting at different national association conferences and corporations and big events, and groups and things have hired me to come in and keynote. And so I've done a lot of speaking. And then I guess we're approaching 8 years ago, I started my own sales and marketing consulting firm. And I also did social media training. Well, at the time, when I first started and I first opened my doors, like within the first 1 to 3 months, I don't know the exact dates, but almost right away, I had a handful of clients, probably no more than 3 that I was consulting. And I decided right away that I really am an expert in sales and marketing, and I know the micro tasks that need to be done in order to be super successful, and including some level of presence on social media, right? Because it's expected at this point in life. And I also knew at this point in my world that I wanted the option to be lazy. I'm a very hard worker, but I did not want to do all those micro tasks. I wanted to on a Wednesday, I wanted to play Yahtzee with she's 12 now, but at the time she was younger. I wanted to go walk by the water with my husband after dinner. I didn't want to come back into the office and have to do, I'm on all those virtual networking things like you guys are, and have to download the chat and upload it into a spreadsheet and find everybody on LinkedIn and send them all invitations and say, hey, let's have a getting to know you call and send them all. And like, these are all the things you have to do. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time showing up and popping your face in the window when you go to all these events if you're not doing all the work that's required and the follow through, right? And so I didn't have a lot of revenue coming in. So what I decided was I would look around the house and find a few things that weren't bringing us joy or being useful to our family at the time. And I put them on Facebook Marketplace. This is a true story. And I sold a bunch of stuff and made a couple $100. And I put that money to the side and I said, you know what? This is my virtual assistant nest egg. And I only used it for that. And so then I went right away. And the smartest thing I did was I instantly hired 3 people. So I did the job posting, the interview process, all the things. And then I took on 3 people. Now I didn't hire them all full time. I hired them based on need and based on project, because that's what I could do. We agreed on an hourly rate. We agreed on what the project would be. When they finished it, they gave me an update, and I said, okay, great. If I have something next week, I'll reach out to you. This was the agreement. And I made sure that the tasks I had them doing, at least a third of them led to money making actions, led to more clients for me. So that over time, I quickly grew to a team of 15 people just working for me. And then about 5 years ago, I got hit in the head with the frying pan, or neon signs went off, or, God shouted really loud in my direction, however you'd like it to say it happened. But for
God shouted.
it wasn't subtle, because for a solid week, the July before the world changed, I got the same question pretty much. People called me and said, Jessica, I see you everywhere. How do you do it all? Jessica, I know I'm supposed to do all these things. I don't know how to do it all. I just kept getting that question. I said, well, I don't do it all. I have this team. And then the following question was, well, how do you do that? And I thought, well, maybe when I prayed and meditated, I'll make an online course and show people how to go find, hire, train, interview, like all the things I had figured out to do to have really quality people. And the universe said, no, they really want you to do it for them. And I said, but Lord, I don't know how to do it for them. And he said, try anyway, you'll figure it out. So that's what I did. I did a done for you virtual assistant agency. I launched it. I told people very blankly that, hey, I've managed a large team of VAs for myself, but I've never run an agency before. So we're going to learn this together. Wear your parachute. I have got a launch price, which Barbara still enjoys, because I grandfather people in.
I was one of her first people.
No longer available. We have real prices now. But we launched it, and a bunch of people jumped on. I was in a couple speaking engagements, as always, on summits and podcasts and virtual events. And I said, hey, if you want to try this out, come jump with me. Now we've been running that almost 5 years. Can you believe it, Barbara? I mean,
yeah. And I was one of your first people.
Oh, very first people. And we've been running it for a hot minute. And we have 100 virtual assistants globally now. And we just kept applying that same thing. It's to make sure that at least 1/3 of the tasks the VAs are doing are money-making actions, because then the money to pay the VA is a no-brainer, because this is bringing in revenue and supporting you. I tell people it should have a warning label, like things that aren't so good for you that cause addiction, because once you pass something off of your plate to someone else, you never want to go back to doing it again.
Exactly. I occasionally do something.
Yes, but I tell you what, it's one of those things that there is an addiction that I feel it if some of my key people who directly support me have a thing in life happening that causes them to not be with me for a moment or two, because, life happens. We're all humans. But I'm definitely also very addicted to my team.
Right. And I think it's just to know your strengths. Like the things that I have the team do are not things that I'm really good at. I love being the face out here. I love being part of the BBs. I love doing podcasts and being guests on podcasts. And right now I am absolutely loving the fact that I'm helping to open a country for an elite wellness brand. That is huge.
It really
is huge. And I am learning new skills, because it's something that I want to do. But the best thing about it is that I know that you are taking care of the back of the house stuff, because my social media stuff is still going on. We do have to tweak. Absolutely. You have to, like Jessica and I have a meeting coming up that we really do have to talk, because otherwise, I would just, you have to inspect what they're doing and know what you want. And it has been a blessing to work with people that go, oh, okay, Barb. Yeah, let's move that. Or here's this. Or, oh, can you promote this? And I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a huge help. And I'll say to you that if you're watching this or sharing this, I believe money is energy, and the more
Yeah.
powerfully we push it out, the more powerfully it comes back in. So if you do find me and reach out and say, "Hey, I'd like VA services," I would love to send both of the BBs a little love in their direction if you end up working with us. So please make sure and mention Time to Shine Happiness Show, so that I can make sure that that happens, because really that has been also a big cornerstone of my success. Really, we haven't done a huge marketing campaign to promote our own virtual assistant membership program. It has been amazing, beautiful humans like you that have personally email introduced me to people that have filled our company time after time over all these years. So it's been fantastic. And I also have a podcast. I've been a host for 7 years on Profound Professionals. So, check that out. And we'll have to
Yeah.
get you on the show. Have we had you on the show yet?
I have not been on your show.
I
How did
don't
we
know.
miss that?
I don't
How
know.
did we miss that?
I just don't know how that's possible, but we have to remedy that in the new year as well.
We'll have to remedy
I love your earrings, by the way. Adorable.
my trees.
hmm
You know what's really funny? In my town, they have put up Christmas decorations up and down Main Street. I mean, and I don't live in a very big town, so it's not much. However, guess what? They're exactly the same shape as my earrings, and I have had these earrings,
That's
oh
funny.
yeah, years and years and years and years and years. And I think it was last year, maybe the year before, it was like, ooh, Cortland put up new decorations. I have earrings just like those.
That's
Oh,
lovely.
it's fun.
I
So
love
I wear them, and yeah, one of the
I
fun
love
things.
I love it when the little small towns decorate. It's just so nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it really is. So tell us what you're excited about, what you're looking forward to for, for what's happening, what's coming up and all sorts of things.
So we are launching a brand new program for we're creating a done for you strategic philanthropy workshop. It's a lead machine generation, and we guarantee that at the end of a year, the clients that work with us for us to build this lead conversion machine is they'll successfully make $250,000 by the end of the year.
Wow.
It is a very powerful formula. We build out all the components and pieces, all the funnels. We support with all of the filling of the attendance of the workshop. And it supports a charity all at the same time. It's really a beautiful recipe for success all the way around, because I know so many people with programs, very large transformational programs, and they're just having such a struggle as authors, coaches, speakers, and online course developers filling these really elite programs, and they're the higher dollar programs. However, if you can't help someone make the transformation, then you're really not getting a chance to shine as brightly as you would like, right? With your gifts. And the interesting thing about humans is, unless there is a deeper investment, then they often won't push through to stick with the transformation needed. So that's why I think there's some real value in some of these high ticket programs out there that are available to help and support people. Because think about it, if you're paying 10 or 20 bucks a month to go to the gym, it's really easy for you to justify and say, I don't feel like going to the
I
gym
don't feel
today.
like going.
But if you're paying a personal trainer $500 a month or a session, and it's non-refundable, you don't show up because you're too lazy, you lose the money, then guess what you're going to do? Your tuchus is going to get out of bed and go see that personal trainer, and you are going to stick with it. And it's because there's a deeper pain and a deeper investment, but it also brings you to the largest and most beautiful and most profound and impactful transformations of your life. And so we want to help those people who have those programs actually be able to support and work with as many clients as they possibly can. And that's the plan for that new program that we're launching. So
Cool beans. Cool beans. Yes, we'll have to talk. Anyways, but yeah, and that's one of the things that like with me, I do coaching I and people ask me so often, why do I coach? And part of it is because I love the feeling, and Jessica, you can attest to this, when you can look somebody in the eye and you know at that moment, the moment they get it
Mm-hmm.
for themselves. I call it when I see the light bulb go off and they know that they have made the first step towards their new whatever it is that they want.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is that they want. It's
Those-
not about us
Mhm.
telling them what to do. What do they want?
It's the
Like,
big
I remember
aha
the
moment.
moment that
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to be a coach. It was an absolute light bulb moment for me. Then I
Mhm.
did. Then it was just a matter of, all right, let's take some of these high level coaching practices,
Mhm.
coaching things to get where I want to go.
Mhm. It was the big aha moments. And, I was listening to Barbara and you both earlier on the show, and she talked about accountability. And I have to tell you, I've been in lots of different accountability programs over the years, and I've been with a specific person every Tuesday morning for many, many years. And earlier this year, I started really consistently with a daily accountability person. And I have to tell you, that is a game changer. A daily morning at 6:30 a.m. every day, every single day, we touch base and we text each other. We call every morning, and we have a very specific focus. We know what we're going to work on for that day. We review what we worked on the day before, and did we hit our 3 things from yesterday? And it makes such an impact on your life. So find that buddy. That's my biggest tip for this year, is find that someone that is determined to transform themselves, and together take that journey, and pick the time of day, but stick to it like it were as sacred. Do not miss it. And it's huge in achieving any goal you're trying to reach.
Right. And I think one of the things that I work with my clients is sometimes people have such long to-do lists.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned it, pick 3. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I pick 1 out of 3 different categories. One, what can I do today to improve a relationship? What kind of a relationship is up to me? What
Mm-hmm.
can I do? What is one thing that I can do towards my business?
Mm-hmm.
That's up to me. What can I do? What one thing can I do to increase me personally?
Mm-hmm.
What thing can I learn? What podcast can I listen to? What personal development can I look at? What video can I watch? Whatever that is, whether it's sitting down and taking time to just be real and authentic with me,
Mm-hmm.
because I can't get away from me.
Mm-mm.
I take me everywhere I go,
Exactly.
24/7. I
Yeah.
can wake up in the night and have to still be with me.
That's right.
And so I think that's what happens so often, that people, they just that's where they get stuck,
Mm-hmm.
But my big thing is find the thing that floats your boat, that makes your soul sing. And right now in my coaching practice, I work with late career business owners and career professionals who are facing retirement. And yet right now, their whole identity is wrapped up in their job title or their job description.
Mm-hmm.
And they're facing what am I going to do when I don't have this job title or this job description? Who
Mm-hmm.
am I outside of that? Who am I going to be? What am I going to do?
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't make that transition, especially men, unfortunately, they're not going to make it. And within 18 to 24 months, something has happened. And it's like they either get into drugs, alcohol, or death.
Mm-hmm.
And that is sad. We need to change that. But it starts with what we're talking about. Sometimes you need to get into a group that is going to hold you accountable, hold your feet to the fire, have one of those that we have to check in with each other. And
Mm-hmm.
hey, this is what I did today. And don't take on too much, and don't be afraid to start small.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid to start small.
Well, and that's interesting you said that, because during this holiday season, I've been really gentle with myself as far as what my task and goals are right now until Christmas is over, because so I've been choosing a lot of fun things to be on my, like right now I'm reading the Advent calendar verses with my daughter and my granddaughter every night. And one of my goals for today was to make sure I got together the grocery shopping list for my husband for all of Christmas dinner, and to make sure my mother-in-law's package got mailed. Like, they're not all business. I have a couple business related goals, but they're not
Right.
all business related.
Yeah.
So right now I'm allowing myself the grace to, just like Thursday, I'm clearing my schedule and taking my 12-year-old daughter, one of my adult daughters, and my 7-year-old granddaughter, and the four of us are going to play total hooky and go ice skating. And
Right.
and that's my big thing I'll accomplish for the day, and that'll be the only thing on my list that day.
Right.
That, and still making sure we do the advent calendar, and drinking plenty of water. Like, those will probably be my three things that day.
Right.
So it doesn't always have to be, like you said, it's about balance in all those spaces.
Right. Yeah, that's like one of the things that's on my calendar today is to go swimming.
Yay, you.
I am going swimming because I like to swim. And
Love.
the Y has a heated pool that is the perfect temperature that I can just walk right into it.
Oh, I
And
love
I walk on the track. I'll do a mile, or maybe a mile and maybe 2 miles, depending on what time frame. But because I want to go swimming, but in order to go swimming, I have to walk on the track. I tell myself I have to walk on the
I
track.
love that reward, that kind of reward.
That's
That's
my reward for going swimming is I walk on the track.
beautiful.
And it can be something simple like that.
Mhm.
It doesn't, so many, like I remember when I was working on trying to find my purpose. I
Mhm.
thought it had to be something, this big, huge thing outside of myself of what my purpose is. Yeah, no. My purpose is to serve God, to learn things, and to tell people what I've learned.
Mhm.
That's simple. And that's the kind of what you are,
Good. I
find
like
the things that help people and show them how to do it.
So for me, though, my life purpose has always been very well tied to helping people take what is their light and amplifying that glow. So I see myself either as like a megaphone or like a lighthouse lamp, right?
Right.
I bring someone's small light into the lighthouse and give it that amplification so it can grow bigger. Or I take someone's small voice and small gift, and then we amplify it to help it reach more and find more people. And that's part of the mission of this workshop that we're building as a done for you product. So yeah, it's really just to help others take their gifts and spread them further, farther, and faster than they could on their own.
Exactly. And I think that's the impetus for all of us to live. Like for me, my mission is to have a happy, for people to live happy, healthy, debt-free, abundant lives.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we were here. That's what we were promised.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but sometimes we have to do our part too. And
Mm-hmm.
so often we started out the show with the voices in our head that are telling us that we can't do something.
I was thinking about that because my husband always says he'll never get bored and he'll never need another girl in his life ever, because there's at least 8 different personalities that he's married to.
Yes, exactly. Well, actually, we have a judge, and the judge has 9 friends, and they all have their own name, and just depending on which ones
That's right.
are coming up to bat. But once in a while, we just have to turn around and say, "Look, get away from me!" Those voices of doubt.
Yeah.
And those voices of accusation that, oh, you're not good enough, or that you can't do it, or
I have to say I'm so fortunate. I'm 50 and fabulous, and it's very rare that a voice of doubt creeps into the cracks, because I really like me, really proud of me. I feel very blessed and grateful. I love my life. And so I mean, truthfully, if there's a puzzle to solve, typically the first thing I think is, well, everything is always working out for me. So somehow
Exactly.
it'll work out. So I'm
Work out.
fortunate that I've really I've stifled that voice, because I'm certain I had it pretty consistent or in my earlier years,
Oh,
but
exactly.
not
It
now.
just depends on when you become aware of it. Like
Mhm.
with me, I didn't become aware of it
Yeah.
until I was in my 60s. And now that I'm in my 70s, I love who I am.
Yeah.
I love my life. This morning, I woke up, I was stretching, and it was like, this is the day that the Lord has made. This is going to be a great day.
Yeah.
And that's my attitude. I mean, sometimes it's more of a choice that
Mm.
we have to choose to that, absolutely. However, it's just an amazing way to live your life, and that's what I want for everybody else. So I want them to come on. So anyways, so Jessica, this has been absolutely a blast. Just one little quick small final word, and how do people get in touch with you?
You can find me on my website. It's www.jessical, like Lynn, Koch.com. So jessicalkoch.com. And, I end my own show this way, and I'm going to end it this way today. It's just always be kind to yourself and be kind to each other.
Yeah, absolutely. So everybody, we'll see you next time. Have a great week. Welcome to the Time to Shine show, because this is now absolutely your time to shine. And so just do it. Let your light shine. Have a good one. Bye, everybody.